the swimming world gave me so much. And especially when I started with cold water, which was one of my biggest fear. Maybe people not believe, right? Now I'm a 6-time world champion in ice swimming, but one of my biggest fear was going into the cold water.
Welcome to Out of Our Comfort Zone. Hosted by a high-performance athlete and Guinness World Record holder, this is a podcast where we share actionable strategies, inspiring stories, and expert insights to turn adversity into high potential for ambitious leaders, CEOs, HROs, and athletes seeking to excel in high-pressure environments. Here's your host, Deniz Kayadelen.
Deniz, very nice to see you.
Thank you, Anil. Great to be here in Dubai with all of you. So thank you for the invite.
Thank you for coming. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Deniz, as a fellow Turkish-German professional, I'm fascinated by your diverse career. You're an extreme swimmer, author, and business psychologist. How do you balance all of these different aspects of your life, and what drives you?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is what gives you energy, because energy management is key, more important than time management. And in everything what I do, I just want to be the best version of myself, whether it's in the water, in my business. And I think when you follow your passion and do it with a real passion and with a real vision, then you are unstoppable. And I try at least to be active in those parts and feel energized. And the more I feel energized, the more I continue. And also the same question to you, because you are so young and the CEO of so many, inspiring and big companies. And now you are the leader of the leading B2B company. And you just founded Adalvo a few years ago, right? So it's a fast pace, a big success. So what are your success factors?
It's a great question, Deniz. When we started Adalvo, it was very clear to me that I had to come to market with something different. I spent my previous career in the family businesses, and I have seen a lot of strengths in these businesses and a lot of weaknesses of those businesses as well. One thing that I wanted to do is really a modern business that is giving a lot of power to the employees, which I call them micropreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
They can make a lot of decisions themselves.
Oh, I love this, micropreneurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's a very flat structure, very non-hierarchical structure. And we trust our people a lot. They really drive the business. That was the fundamental start. Of course, it combined with a winning business strategy, because we today have the largest technology proposal in the market space among the B2B companies. So we can offer 30 plus technologies to the market, to our customers, to our 200 plus customers. So that combination became very powerful. And it's a very modern company. Our employees can work wherever they want. Amazing. They can go for ice swimming with you and can still get the work done. Yeah. So it's a very modern structure.
It's based on trust, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great.
So my next question to you, talking about success, Deniz, it's difficult to follow you, to be honest, speaking about growth. You recently completed the Triple Crown of open water swimming. How do you prepare mentally, physically for such extreme challenges? And actually, I'm genuinely interested in how you find the motivation all the time to do those things. You can do it once in a lifetime, you can do it twice in a lifetime, but you almost do this on a monthly basis. How this happens?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you to Adalvo. I really appreciate our collaboration. You as a main sponsor, it's one of the biggest support, right? To do that, it gives me also energy and motivation to feel also the external support. But I think for the peak performance, we need 4 main aspects. It's not just about physical endurance, right? Because when people see me in the water, they think, oh, you are so strong physically. Maybe I'm not the strongest person, from amongst the swimmers, but there are 3 main other components beside the physical health. It's the mental fitness, the resilience, and it's also, the inner motivation, feeling the inner sense, why you're doing this. What is the vision? Because when it gets dark, when it gets rainy, no one is there, then I need to motivate myself. And the intrinsic motivation comes from the sense, from the purpose. And my purpose is to step out of my comfort zone and unlock my potential. And with this inspiration to inspire others.
It's amazing.
And the fourth component, which not everyone is speaking, but it's also the spiritual energy, which is again connected with the sense and the purpose. Because when everything gets hard, for example, in English Channel, I was exhausted. Mentally, I was not fit anymore. I was swimming 14, 13 hours. And then the fourth component came into the role, like having faith, believing in a bigger purpose, in a bigger picture, that everything will be good, that the universe has our back. So if you don't have those four components, then you are as strong as the weakest part. That means we need to always focus on these four components, activating our mind, our soul, our body, and having this belief in a bigger picture.
So is this the moment you don't feel the cold anymore? You don't feel tired? Is this the moment?
Yeah, it's the moment of being in the flow, just focusing on your goal, always on target, and just focusing on the target and going and believing in yourself and believing that everything will go right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And then I also watched your journey, and I had also the chance to speak with your colleagues and employees. And it's amazing how fast you grow with the company. So last year, I think you were just 100, 150, and now you are 200, and you are growing fast and fast. And especially, I know in the pharma, there are so many regulations. How you ensure innovation, adaptability, also the mental resilience in your team? Because I know it's a big challenge.
It's an amazing question. So first of all, I'm really fortunate to work with an amazing team. My leadership team is very stable.
Yeah.
I work with the same management team pretty much last 7 years since I set up the business. That gives us a competitive edge. Because when I look into their eyes, even today in the meeting rooms, when I look into their eyes, I can exactly tell what they think, how they feel, how they really think about this business situation. That gives us a competitive edge. That's the human part of it. But also on the strategic part of it, as Adalvo, we are very nimble in our thinking, in our operations as well. Not only our speed, but also our nimbleness is giving us our competitive edge. We can make a lot of decisions much faster than our competition. And also we can make a lot of better decisions than our competition as well. Last but not least, we also invest a lot in the technology.
Yeah.
Our head of IT is Frank, is ex-Google, ex-Microsoft. He's such an innovative professional.
Yeah.
We implemented SAP for HANA within less than 9 months.
Really?
With the probably 10% of the budget of other companies.
Yeah.
And then we implemented Salesforce into our front-end operations and the project management. Again, with half of the budget of other companies. So we invest a lot into digital as well as IT. Even in Adalvo, we have our own document signing programs. We have our own AI platforms. So it's a very digitalized business.
Yeah.
And the logic of the business is really to create a powerhouse that can make a bigger impact than the classical pharma companies. So when I speak with investors or different stakeholders, one thing really resonates with the people when I say Adalvo is the Airbnb of pharma.
Okay.
This is exactly what we do here. This is a very powerful business model.
Yeah.
And I'm actually talking about resilience. Personally, I think it's very important to really like what you do. Everyone says that. Well, I have a lot of passion to what I do.
Yeah.
And when you are passionate as a leader, when you smile, when they see you solving the problem, people get motivated. Actually, it's very interesting. People are not getting motivated because you are charismatic or you have brilliant ideas. In my opinion, people are mostly respecting to the leaders when you think with them and solve the problems with them. So basically roll the sleeves and be hands-on. This is a key criteria for Adalvo. When I recruit into my leadership team or to any level in Adalvo, one of the fundamental questions that I ask really, show me an example where you have been very hands-on. So we are very hands-on leaders, and that brings a lot of respect to me and to my leadership team.
Yeah, that's amazing because you are basically jumping with them also into the cold water if you have to, right?
Exactly. That's
You
a
are
good
not
analogy.
staying outside and say, no, let's go into the inn, and you have your warm jacket on
Absolutely.
you because you are the leader, you are the boss, right?
That's
so many
clear.
companies are doing that. Great. And maybe one question, because I did a lot of change management, IT transformation projects, and they needed so many budgets, so much time. So what was your success factor in this that you can drive it so fast?
I think really it is a culture. I think it's very difficult. I was fortunate. Maybe I was so lucky to create a company from scratch. If I would be CEO of a company 40 years old, 50 years old, probably it would be very difficult for me to drive the change. So I cannot say anything wrong about my peers. I think there are amazing businesses out there, but I was fortunate to build up something from scratch. So I built it up the way that I thought would be successful.
Yeah.
So I had been always fortunate to recruit these people who are thinking like me and thinking nimble, thinking lean. And when you have these people around, you don't really need to tell them what to do.
Yeah, it's the culture of adaptability, agility, so everything what is important, but you just live it and find those people who also not resisting.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Deniz, as an author and inspirational speaker, how do you translate your experiences from extreme swimming into lessons for personal growth and business?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the swimming world gave me so much, and especially when I started with cold water, which was one of my biggest fear. Maybe people not believe, right? Now I'm a 6-time world champion in ice swimming, but one of my biggest fear was going into the cold water. And when you have this kind of massive individual transformation, like learning how to face your fears, how to get resilience, how to increase your focus, how to have a vision which is much bigger than your fears, then you are transforming your whole system, your whole thinking way. It's like biohacking, right? So with cold water, I studied psychology, but with cold water, I had a second psychology study, which was more hands-on in the life, so learning by doing. And it changed my whole life. Also, the way how I think in business, it increased my entrepreneurial spirit, risk-taking mode, how I handle risk, how I handle stress. After this kind of extreme swimming experiences, I was much more calmer also in the business and didn't see everything like a stress factor or crisis situation. And I also increased and learned to increase my growth mindset, which includes always receiving feedback, always trying to be a better version of yourself, not just staying and saying, oh, I achieved something, but always trying, okay, how I can be better, how I can be faster, how I can stay a little bit more longer in the cold, what I should optimize within my thinking, within my body, within my nutrition, within my sleeping pattern, whatever it is. And it's the same in the business. So you need to always get feedback. You need to have your peers. You need to have your support system because you can't reach your peak performance by yourself. And all these practices I could really learn and directly, use it in my business. And also endurance. Of course, we are getting tired. Of course, we are getting exhausted. But that's the time when you are a winner. Despite exhaustion, when you do the last 20, 30%, right? Otherwise, you are a normal person as others. But that's how you learn the winner mindset.
It's amazing, actually. What you do is actually more mindset than physical.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the incredible thing, because it also, you can associate that I can use this for the business.
Yeah.
You can even generalize it. Of course, you need to have certain education and certain experience, but you can say it's more the mindset rather than the experience, more the attitude rather than the experience, right?
Exactly.
This is actually also the part that I think is part of Adalvo's success. Because you might not see in our corridors here the most, let's say, probably you won't see a lot of white hair, I would say, in the team, a lot of young teams members, but they have the right attitude. They had the right mindset to be successful. And of course, we have some white hair as well, which is, of course, very important. But this is really, I think when I said with the modern business, this is what I meant. When you trust on these people, relatively young, but has the right attitude and the mindset, I think they really help me to grow my business.
Yeah. And the world is changing, everything is changing. And with AI, ChatGPT, you have all the information, right? So with one click, you get the expertise. But as you said, more important is how you deal with all the information overload, how you deal with all these changes. Then the attitude is coming into the place. Because so many people are overwhelmed, exhausted, and don't know what to do as a next step. And there you need this attitude. What I can see You are a great role model as a leader. And when I speak also with your colleagues, they say, yeah, it's an amazing company. So I think it's really energizing to see how far you get and how far you will still go. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And, I'm always asking also the question out of comfort zone. So what is your out of comfort zone way forward and how do you want to step there?
I love going out of my comfort zone, to be honest. I have done it several times. So that's why when we had an opportunity to work with you, I was fully a believer of that and to go to this journey together with you, because you are a good symbol of also for me. When I was back in the day, to leave Germany, come to Switzerland without a job, and just setting up Adalvo with a slightly different business model, and creating this journey was a big comfort zone move for me, to be honest, because the company that I worked in Germany is a very respected business, 100+ years old family business, and so on. So I could stay there and retire there all my life.
Of course, a good salary,
exactly.
monthly
So
structure.
that was not the choice I made. So what is next for me? I think the next 3 years for me to make Adalvo #1 B2B company in Europe. This is absolutely for me the key priority, and I will really focus on that. And then, of course, what will be very interesting for Adalvo, we are very good at what we do. I think our next out of comfort zone move will be adding another business model or another capability to the company, which will be something that we have not done before. We have few ideas on going a bit more integrated in the production or in the R&D, or going into CRO business or the pharmacovigilance businesses and expanding our service offerings. So new horizons for us. So that will be the next comfort zone move for me personally and also for the company.
Of course. So basically what everyone is saying and being afraid of stepping into the unknown, trying new ways, new approaches, so taking risk as well.
Exactly.
And you mentioned Germany, Switzerland, you have also Turkish roots, and you worked in so many countries. How all these different cultures influenced your leadership style?
It's a really great question. I studied in Vienna, and I always was kind of like you. I grew up a bit more with the German culture, so I would always classify myself like this typical disciplined, very structured professional. Is very interesting because you don't see these profiles in Turkey, as we both know. Typically, we are more chaotic, having a pragmatic mindset, but not that structured. When it comes to that, we can't plan so long time, unfortunately. But studying in Vienna, working in Germany really helped me to learn this. And I think it's a big capability for me, but I still have my practical mindset, which I think gives me a very big competitive edge in international business. One thing that was really a game changer in my career is actually going to INSEAD and meeting with Erin Meyer in her class. She's one of the top 50 thinkers in the world. She's the writer of Culture Map and one more other book with the founder of Netflix. And when I was in her class, it was an eye-opener because she's a culture expert, and she was describing how you can really be successful in a different culture. You can communicate better. And I see this in my company as well. We have like 40+ nations here. We have offices in 15+ countries. My style that might work in Germany or Switzerland is not going to work in my team in Bulgaria or in Romania or in Spain. So I have to have this different toolbox that I can use. So it's really important to adapt to these situations. But I think growing up in Istanbul is giving you this edge, because when you grow up in Istanbul, you grow up in a very multicultural country, very multicultural society. It prepares you for your life. So that's why I'm also very open-minded. I like to learn a lot. I listen a lot and read a lot to learn different styles from other people, but try to be very short and crisp as a communication style.
That's great. So it shows no matter in which hierarchy level you are, you always need to learn, right? Always live this growth mindset to be in the winner's side. And what I also see, you have this competitive edge still, right? So you say you want to be the #1 B2B company. And what I also observe, of course, I'm also a competitive swimmer still, but so many people, they compete maybe in their childhood, university times, but then when they are in the business, they just stop competing, right? But this is the attitude again. So saying, no, I'm not just doing something, I'm doing it great and I will be #1.
Exactly.
And this is, again, the vision and the inner motivation, right? What keeps us then moving forward, also when it gets tough and when it gets challenging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think one of the business strategies that I really apply in Adalvo to create a diversification. So whatever we do in the business, it always have I say it in the company, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E.
Wow.
So when you have multiple options in your business for different areas, I think one of them will work and then you will be successful. So that was a kind of a mindset that I built, and is also valid for Adalvo's success.
That's great. So also many learnings from my side with you now speaking, like plan E, plan B, plan C, combining the structure with still the hands-on mentality.
Yes.
But one word, what was new for me, I really love that. So micropreneur.
Yeah, right.
That's amazing.
That's a word actually is an inspiration from the barbershops, you know. Like still, if you look into the business of the barbershops, they are typically, of course, if they are not that good, they are typically one-man show. So, and in my childhood, I had been working for one of them. So for him to eat lunch, he had to close the shop. So no customer could come when he was having lunch. So he needed someone to keep the shop open, even though the person is not cutting the hair, but still at least welcome the guest and just offer a tea until the lunch is done so he could continue his business. That made me really very clear that in Adalvo, I don't need this second guy who keeps the shop open. I need the micropreneur eating and at the same time cutting the hair. So that was kind of the analogy that has been built around.
Oh, cool.
Thank you, Deniz, for being with us, and I'm looking forward to your speech tomorrow.
Thank you, Anil.
If you'd like to learn more about how we can help transform your life and live to your fullest potential in your personal or professional life, we invite you to visit our website at outofourcomfortzone.com. By the way, if you enjoyed listening to the show, please subscribe and rate it. Thank you.